is my business.
Hello, entrepreneurs. Joe DeChara coming to you live once again from downtown Flushing, New York. And yes, it's still actually, we're not in the eye of the pandemic anymore. I don't know where we are. All I know is I still got to wear a mask when I go outside. If you don't know me, like I said, my name is Joe DeChara. I am a serial entrepreneur, and I happen to have a CPA license, so I can do your tax returns if you need to. Also, your bookkeeping. And what I love to do is I love to talk about business and entrepreneurship. And I usually keep it to really solopreneurs and people in that category. And today I landed a big fish. Actually, my VA did, Elizabeth, and I thank you for that. We have the president of Bicoastal Productions, Jack Foreman. How are you, Jack?
I'm doing well. Thanks so much for having me, Joe.
Yeah, no, it's my pleasure. Once we got to chat for a few minutes last week, and I don't like to go into details. I just want to, when I have my initial chat, because I like to be surprised during the interview, because I know that we touched on a few things, and I believe that if you're watching, you're going to want to hear, you're going to want to stay till the end of the interview, because I got a feeling that Jack will not disappoint us. And if you're watching live, give us a hashtag live. If you're watching a replay, please do a hashtag replay. And somebody told me why, and it's because then you're in the thread every time somebody comments or whatever. And if, I'm not in the Facebook, actually I am. So if you have any questions for Jack or me, you can post them in the comments, and I'll make sure that Jack gets them if we don't get to them today. So Jack, tell us a little bit about Bicoastal and what it is and what you do.
Sure. Bicoastal Productions is a talent agency based in Midtown Manhattan. We've been around for a little bit over 10 years now, and we book concerts, special events, corporate events, casino events, you name it, all around the world at various types of venues. We have a terrific roster of artists that we represent exclusively, anything from classic rock, modern pop, dance, comedy, theatrical, just about anything. So being an agent right now has been a wonderful thing, obviously, being in the pandemic when all events are on hold or canceled, but it's just given us a nice opportunity to be more creative and find new ways of seeking out revenue for our clients.
Yeah, and that's what I wanted to talk about, because if you're like me, I mean, I like entertainment. I like going places. I like sporting events, and I want to share with the audience your website here, if that's okay.
Yes, please.
Because you're not joking when you say your roster. Because I was looking at it. Oh wait, you got exclusives here. I mean, you have a lot of acts.
Yeah, we like to keep it diverse. I mean, this is just the other artists page. Some people that we've had very friendly affiliations with through the years and continue to book pretty regularly. And our exclusives are obviously the main focus, as they've entrusted us with the reins of their career. And building it has been a real exciting experience. The founders of the company are real music heads and just love great entertainment, and it's been a nice mix because of that.
I love this guy.
Colin Mocker,
this guy he was on with, yeah. Can you get him to be on an interview with me here?
Sure, why not?
Oh yeah, that guy. I love that show he was on with Drew Carey.
Yeah, whose line is it anyway?
Right. Yeah, I gotta go back and watch those. So what got me was, I have a friend, actually my coach, Larry Broughton, owns and runs a string of hotels. And he went from revenue to zero overnight. And I don't know if that happened to you, but there's not a lot of shows going on now. So how are you guys pivoting? And one thing I want to mention is that what you said was you saw it as an opportunity to be creative, right?
Yeah, I mean, adversity is a terrible thing to waste in our business. And, we live thankfully in 2020 where there's nothing but new innovations each and every day, pretty much every hour for musicians and artists, especially with ways of reaching audiences. So, we did have a tough couple of weeks and a couple of months. It's still very tough, but we've had to make some difficult decisions and some difficult cutbacks, but we're full steam ahead. Whether the shows return this year, which we're not projecting them to necessarily, but if they do or don't, we still want to be keeping busy with new things and keeping our clients busy.
Okay, so business dropped off. So what? I mean, the live shows are canceled,
Yeah.
right?
Okay. Or postponed. Postponed is
Well,
what. Yeah. Well, by the way, if you hear some crying, my daughter's upstairs. We have a 1-year-old, and
oh, cool.
working from home is allowed for some, guest commentary from time to time.
Yeah, no, I like babies and I like dogs.
Yeah.
Okay. And for some reason, I don't know, but if you notice, when somebody's on a Zoom call and they have a cat, the cat has to be seen.
Yeah.
It's strange.
That's a good call.
But, yeah. So the baby, yeah, that's okay. It's not too loud. I can still hear you.
Great.
So tell me how, I got so many questions between the people, the entertainers that are out of work. What are they doing? I mean, I assume they all applied for unemployment.
Well,
and then what steps did you take initially, and what are you doing now?
Being an artist representative or a representative of any kind means that you have to sometimes take a step back so that you can be there professionally and even emotionally for your client. I think that's true in any kind of field of representation. I think that what we were doing, when the world shut down, for lack of a better statement, we had buses out on the road with complete tours and everything included, and it was just all of a sudden, all at once, and we had to be level-headed because it was all fielded very, very quickly. So therefore, we had to take a step back. We had to assess the potential loss and assess the potential threats of this, and really start thinking quickly as to ways of offsetting as much as we could. I mean, even though we are able to reschedule a lot of our shows, it's a blessing. We probably rescheduled about 90% of our shows that were canceled. However, as you can probably assume, it's not new revenue by the time these shows come back, whether it's 2021 or anything. I mean, it's deferred revenue, and during those times they should be, moving even further in their careers. But at this point, we're just happy to have the work and the shows on the map. But that was really what we had to do, was just reschedule as much as possible so that there was a light at the end of the tunnel for our clients. And then as time went on and the shows stayed either postponed or canceled, we started getting very actively involved in streaming and virtual performances. So
Okay.
that's kind of our next big phase that we're excited about and spending a lot of our efforts.
Yeah, I mean, what do they say? I forget what they say, but when things are bad, people have to step up and figure things out.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody wants to go through the pain, but I was saying from the beginning that business doesn't stop just because things are bad. Now it's time to really, regroup. And so, the $64,000 question for me is, when you're talking about the rescheduling. So when can I expect to be able to go to a casino, let's say?
That is going to depend on which casino and what state. I mean, we have shows at casinos that are scheduled for later this summer, and they're projecting that those would still be on. And with casinos, you bring up an interesting point, because a lot of them are not subject to the same governing bodies that most venues be. They're actually, if they're on a Native American reservation, it's more a matter of local law and ordinance rather than what the government is saying nationally. But when it comes to regular venues, I mean, it's really going to depend on the state. I had a show scheduled for for Eastern Texas in 2 weeks from now, and it just got canceled today finally because of the recent spike. But all this time, even though everything was canceled for the summer, this one venue was holding out hope, and power to them, because they thought they could get it done at half capacity, and we wanted that to happen. We wanted to see them go on with the show and get our artists some needed work. So it's gonna vary based on where you are and how bad things get. If there's a territory where it's gotten a lot more managed, especially overseas, where some countries have done a really good job of suppressing the spread of this, that's where you may see it return first. The only problem is if you've got a bunch of American artists who they're not going to let over, you got to get really creative with it.
Wow. So yeah, I was going to say, because you mentioned that you're worldwide. So are you booking things overseas yet?
Yeah, well, I mean, I had shows that was I had one tour in particular that was scheduled in November, and that was going to be going through the United Kingdom and going through France and other parts of Europe, And then we also had a few things on the books for Southeast Asia, which was the first thing that you thought of when this all broke out. And chances are all of it's going to get rescheduled into 2021, and we're okay with that because we'd rather keep it alive and have the promoters not spend significant amounts of dollars on marketing during a time where people aren't even thinking about buying a ticket for something in November like they usually would over the summer. So it's a bit of a tough call at times, and we've got festivals planned next year in Spain and in other parts of Europe. But we're okay with waiting and seeing, and the artists, as long as they can have some sort of a guarantee or at least a projection of what it's going to look like in 2021, they're okay with deferring it as well. Right.
Well, they're used to the ups and downs of this kind of business, right?
Yeah. I had one artist that told me, they said that if you could survive CBGB in the 70s, you could survive.
I remember that. Oh yeah. God. But so what about the artists? Are they what are they doing? Are they, I could see the bands maybe popping out new albums or something. They got to be doing something. Are they going star crazy?
A lot of them are. There's the artists out there. We have a number of them that are financially set in a way where they can really sit this one out and regroup and just take care of their families at home. But then there are other artists that don't necessarily have that means, so they're having to get crafty and feisty with it. And a lot of them, yes, they are focusing on creating great content and getting with their bands remotely if possible. Again, with great tech has come great ability to connect people, especially with musicians, dealing with low latency jam sessions. However, my personal favorite thing that they've been doing that we've been offering a lot of assistance with and also creating more and more affiliate partnerships with is these, there are these live stream platforms out there where artists can literally sell tickets to a virtual show, and the audience feels a very intimate connection with them, because they can buy a ticket that just gains them access, and then they can continue to buy add-ons and packages to that to really elevate their experience on almost a VIP plus level. And
really?
It's been a great source of revenue while everybody's sheltered at home. And now with technology being what it is, you can actually do it in pretty high quality, no matter where you are, even if you're a do-it-yourself artist or an international touring sensation.
I say all the time in the show, I use this thing called StreamYard. Mm-hmm. I'm flabbergasted because when I got into business, a fax machine was like a mystery. And then they had beepers. I'm like, we stream live all over the world, and it's amazing.
Yeah. So agents still use fax machines.
They do, right?
Yeah. We got we're heavy on paper still.
I believe. I have a virtual fax machine, so yeah, I have to fax things to the IRS and the government. But so how do I tap into these? I haven't heard about these live shows.
Well, do you want to tap in as a viewer, or do you want to try to see what else you can do to get involved? As a viewer, they're being posted more and more. YouTube has obviously always been the big one for streaming, but a lot of people have gotten involved with Twitch, especially since Twitch is owned by Amazon. They've allowed that wonderful vertical integration to take hold on the national market or the international market, where people are making a really strong living going live on platforms like Twitch, Facebook Live, or YouTube. And then one that we've actually partnered with on an affiliate level is a platform called Veeps, which is a play on the word VIP, and it was built by artists for artists. And now we're actually marketing it to a lot of venues and places like that as a means for, these empty houses to essentially unload a bunch of tickets that were normally going to be empty seats to a virtual audience. These theaters are either going to be TV studios or virtual sound stages or limited audiences, no matter where you go.
Right. Yeah. Well, it's sort of exciting. I mean, like I said, you don't want to go through a pandemic, but what I see, somebody like, a business like yours, you might say, you know what, these virtual things are a lot less expensive to put on, and we can do more of them.
Yeah.
I have friends doing like shows, like 3-day events, and it takes a lot to get 500 or 800 people to an event. A lot of money. They're doing them online now.
I don't know how that's going to be. I mean, we have a lot of different conferences and shows that come up at a certain time of year, and they're all clustered, and it's usually hopping from city to city within a matter of weeks. And now it's all going to be right here, like you and I are speaking. And I don't know what it's going to be like, to be honest with you. I don't know if the experience is going to be the same, but it could also mean the ability to have more structured, blocked out times with each potential buyer. So that could be a plus side of it.
Yeah. Who knows? But there's definitely a massive change going on. So listen, I appreciate all of that information, but another thing you brought up, because I don't think you'd be able to pivot like you have without this, and you talking about team building. And my mentor, Larry Bratton, that's why he's big on team building. That's one of the reasons why I hired him. So what can you tell us about that part of how you became president of the company?
Well, my mentor, I think behind every great or even okay business person is a great mentor. My mentor always taught me one of the classic sayings that you manage systems, but you lead people. And as a younger guy, dealing with a lot of people who are much older than me, whether it's been at my own company or on the artist or buyer side, it has been a bit of an interesting experience. But I actually believe that if you're the smartest person in the room, then you might be in the wrong room. And you really have a lot, you really have a lot you can learn, especially from young people. I mean, I came in with this company after I left a bigger agency here in New York, and the company, the partners who own the company are in their 70s right now. But to their credit, one of the things that they've always really liked to do is just ask everybody at the table, regardless of age, credential, or experience, to weigh in on things. And it's actually allowed us to continue to be more of a forward-thinking company. So I'm a big believer that people help support a world that they create. So if you put if you make management more of a collaborative thing than a dictatorship type of thing, then I see a lot more opportunity there for smaller teams to really progress a lot quicker, especially in the startup world. And in my business particularly, it just, things happen so quickly and people rise so quickly that if you don't believe in them quickly enough, then you may miss the boat.
Cool. So how do you cultivate team members? Because not everybody is going to be a good team member, right?
No. If somebody, I actually don't have a problem with people who want to be lone wolves and, really blaze their own trail of a certain area where they have a lot of proficiency. But at the same time, as long as people can respect the product, these aren't insurance policies we're selling. These are artists and their life's work. If people can respect that, and they can respect the fact that we're all sharing a roster as a team, it's not like I represent X client on my roster. We work geographically, and everybody has to work as a team, or else tours will not route. It's impossible. And I'm always looking to add, creative new members, regardless of where they come from. You may even find some of your best agents who used to run theaters or were promoters or casino buyers, and everybody in between, people who were in recording or who were in media, who just know how to sell. I mean, that's really it. You forget it so easily, but you're a salesperson as an agent, and your product is the life's work of somebody whom you care about. But at the same time, you feel a little bit more passionate about a great band than a used car, so it's, at least I do. I mean, I'm such a music appreciator. I don't want to say aficionado, but an appreciator, I guess, for lack of a better term, that I really respect the product, and I'm passionate about my clients because I really appreciate the hard work they put into it. And anybody who works with me on either side of the table, you can tell within the first 30 seconds of meeting them if they have that same sort of fire for it.
Yeah, that's awesome that you can be in a business that you actually love.
I'm grateful, very grateful.
Yeah, not everybody gets that chance. And right now, that's why I seek out people that have a passion for something. I don't care what it is. And I said, we'll find a way to make it into a business. But, two things what did you say? If you're the smartest one in the room, you need to get out of the room.
You're in the wrong room.
Yeah.
You're probably in the wrong room.
I just said this morning on, I forget what it was, but my daughter, when she was 11, came home and said, my teacher told me if I'm the smartest person in my group, I should find a better group. I don't know if she was 11 or 14, but yeah, that's true. And I don't mind being the not the smartest person in the room. But I realized who you are now. You're Ari Gold on Entourage, right? Is that what you do?
Maybe in my dreams, I'm already good. The biggest fallacy of the agency world is that when it comes to comparing it to Entourage, is that nobody dresses in the agency world like Ari dresses or any of the assistants. There are personalities like it. I mean, Ari is based off of Ari Emanuel, who runs William Morris Endeavor in LA, and legend. His brother is Rahm Emanuel, and I mean, working with motion picture and talent in that department, in literary, it really all is just a different piece of the puzzle that makes up any agency. We focus primarily on stage and music shows, but I guess in the sense of a similar industry, I guess Ari Gold, but maybe in my dreams, the personality, like quick-wittedness, and if I were the true Ari Gold, my wife would tolerate me even less than she tolerates me being home every second now.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Yeah.
But so what else can I ask you while I have you here? Is there anything you want to talk about that you have going on that you want to maybe mention to anybody that's listening?
Well, I really have been, as I told you before, I really have been excited about a lot of the different platforms out there that are allowing, fans and artists or leagues, even in the sports sphere, to engage with audiences and the other side during this pandemic. I've been just so fascinated by it. And one of the companies that we've partnered with recently is a firm called Hear Me Cheer. It's a wonderful platform. And if you're a sports fan at all, if you've been watching boxing on ESPN every Tuesday and Thursday night, they've started doing it now at the MGM Grand. They've instituted this platform where people can literally watch the show and cheer into their phone or into their computer and hear it live on the broadcast.
Are you serious?
I kid you not. If you flip on, today is Wednesday. If you flip on ESPN tomorrow night, check it out. They'll keep putting the link at the bottom of the screen. And just, I knew from the second that I saw that, I had to reach out to them and make the connection. And they couldn't have been kinder people to work with, and wanting to work with us in, in getting into the music field and, getting into concerts and streaming events. And I highly recommend, if you're a sports fan, to look into it. You're going to be seeing that software with a lot more leagues, especially as they continue to have fanless atmospheres. So, look out for tech platforms like that, that really connect the dots, because there's always, necessity is the mother of invention, especially during a global pandemic. So things like this platform, Hear Me Cheer, and this platform I mentioned earlier called Veeps is just, these great opportunities to consume and also provide tremendous content right now.
I just thought of a crazy business, and I have to share it with you. Imagine watching a baseball game with this Hear Me cheer, and then you can order a $20 beer and an $18 hot dog and have it like with one of those drones. So then you really get, the feeling.
Nothing screams live baseball or live sports, than price gouge concession. That's really it, Then you get the full experience.
I could see that happening. There's some really amazing things. So anyway, Mr. Foreman, thank you for your time.
Thank you. Great to be with you.
I'm going to be following you. Are you on LinkedIn? How do I find you on there?
I am. I'm on LinkedIn. If anybody wants to ever get in touch with us, I welcome emails. Hopefully I'll get back as soon as I can. Things are certainly busy, which is always good for everybody, but talent at Bicoastal Productions. If you ever want to get in touch with us, we do read every email, and we welcome new ideas, innovations, partnership. And, if you're somebody that's really interested in working with a company like ours, we're always taking new people, looking for the next phase of everything. So again, bicoastalproductions.com, you can find us there, but just, don't be a stranger if you liked anything you heard, or if you just want to learn more about what we do.
Yeah, awesome. I think I know some people that a friend of mine she deals with actors and actresses. I think but I'll connect you. So that's a good point.
Yeah.
Anyway, this has been great. It's great to have somebody on the East Coast, so we don't have to screw up the time zone.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Jack. Have a great day, and I look forward to following you some more. Thank you.
You as well. Thanks so much, Joe.
Yes, thank you.